Hey guys, how are we? Alright, so today we are going to go through 10 myths based around macros. Alright, so this is just basic stuff that's in the fitness industry that I thought I'd debunk for you guys. Alright, so let's get straight into it. Alright, so I'm just going to cover off on most of these quick because I talk about them a lot. Alright, so there's our 10. Alright, first off, number 1 and number 2. Alright, meal timings and meal frequency. Alright, so I covered off on this the other day. Meal timings and meal frequency, they don't matter, okay? So first up, your daily calories are the most important and overriding factor compared to everything else. Because you don't get fat from one meal. You get fat from overeating over time in a calorie surplus, okay? And meal timings, unless you're an athlete, they don't really matter. But they can benefit you if you are overweight and trying to lose weight. So generally, if you are overweight, meal timings and meal frequency, so roughly the same kind of thing, but it's more so like meal timings, like should I have a post meal, should I have a workout meal, and meal frequency is like you have to eat 6 meals a day, all right? So negligible, so you can get all your calories in on one meal, but obviously that's not the best of protein intake to stay classified as anabolic all the time. So generally 2 to 4 meals. 2 to 4 meals is quite easy to make up. That could be a snack and a large meal, or it could be 2 snacks, a large meal, or generally it could be, if you're fasting or something like that, it could be lunch, snack, dinner, dessert. Dessert might be like some Greek yogurt, honey, and a fruit salad. All right, so just covering off on those two, meal frequency, meal timings don't matter. If you're overweight, meal frequency might be better for you to stop you from binging and all that kind of stuff. Because generally when people do fast, they're most likely to stop at fast food and all that kind of stuff because they haven't eaten in a long time, or classified as a long time. 4 to 6 hour fast in the morning. So say you wake up at 6 and 8 until midday is not a very big fast. But for some people, it's life and death because their blood sugar levels will drop and their leptin will just, the leptin hormone, because it's a closed loop between leptin and your hypothalamus, will send out hunger signals, and then everyone knows what it's like to be hangry. All right, so we're going to go into protein every meal. All right, so you don't have to have protein every meal. So as I said before, 2 to 4 meals is optimum. Anything more than that, you can actually inhibit protein synthesis, muscle protein synthesis, because it will come. There'll be too much protein there, so you'll spend a lot of time digesting it because protein takes a long time to digest. Anywhere from based around the amino acids, it could be anywhere from 8 to 20 hours, depending on how large your intake of protein is and other macronutrients. So just be aware of that. All right, so we'll stick for that 2 to 4 meals, and you want to get that across a broad range of different types of food: steak, fish, tuna. What else? You can get it from protein shake, like one of those protein bars, like whatever it is, as long as you're hitting your protein intake that I've given you. So generally it's like the general recommendation is 1 gram per pound, or 1.5 to 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Generally you want to go lean body weight. So the general, like that average male is around 160 to 200 grams of protein. Generally, you want to shoot for the higher range because a little bit more protein's never a bad thing. All right, so post-workout and pre-workout meals. All right, so number 4. All right, so covering off on this, post and pre-workout meals. All right, so the recommendation is you can get some simple carbohydrates in and some fats and some proteins probably 2 hours before your workout. That can aid in giving you energy for your workout. Do you need it? No. All right. So like everyone has a hectic lifestyle. Some people don't. They'll go to the gym at lunch. Some people go to the gym at lunch and they don't even have time to go and eat, so they might eat at like 9, then eat at 2. So generally you want to be eating within 4 to 6 hours post-exercise. Generally, I'd say on that 4-hour mark, because if you've worked out generally an hour or two after that, you're very hungry, and nutrient saturation and absorption is at its largest point. So you're most likely to uptake more protein at that time of day as opposed to having it 8 hours later at night. Yeah, and just refueling your body. So just having like simple carbohydrates like lollies and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't cut it. You want to have healthy foods, good wholesome meals. All right, so having a protein shake, there's no real difference as opposed to having that and some lean meat. If anything, probably lean meat's a bit better, but you got to look at it in like what fits your lifestyle and what's practical. Okay, so if you're going to the gym at lunchtime and you can't eat until 2 or 3 o'clock, have a protein shake because that can tie you over, and then you don't have to worry about this meal frequency, meal timing, and this post-workout meal and stress out about all that kind of stuff. Just let life happen. Boom, you got that down. Don't have to worry about being hungry. Fast acting protein. You know your body's going to recover, okay? So just set ahead, like plan for this kind of shit, all right? So if you know you're going to the gym and you've got a bag of protein, take some protein with you. Make sure you're taking your creatine and your BCAAs. But if you can't afford any of that, you don't have to take it because it's not mandatory. Like supplements are to supplement a good diet. They are not there to replace a diet, all right? Supplements don't get you ripped. Hard work, periodization, progressive overload, and having volume targets and doing the correct exercise for your physique and pushing your body to the limits. That's what gets you ripped, all right? All right, so number 5, eating extra protein every meal. All right, so that kind of falls under pre-workout meals, meal frequency, meal timing. So eating extra protein every meal, it's not going to get you any extra gains. Generally, muscle protein synthesis caps out at about 30 to 40 grams, depending on how much lean muscle you have. So eating extra protein is not going to build more muscle. So there was one study done where they hooked amino acids up directly straight into the bloodstream. They done it for 12 hours. And muscle protein synthesis, the process of muscle recovery and repair and all that kind of good stuff, it spiked. And then after 2 hours, it came back down. And that was, I think it was an oversaturation by like 100, 200%. So it did absolutely nothing. So eating extra protein is probably just going to make your farts stink. But it can be used for extra energy. So you don't really want to be shooting for 30 grams of protein per meal. Like just make sure you're hitting your daily numbers. That's the most important thing. Whether like you're only hitting small numbers on the first couple of meals, and then at night make sure you're really hitting that target. So you know what your target is. You're tracking that through MyFitnessPal, and then once you understand, you have your staple meals in place. You go from there. You go boom, boom, boom. I've roughly hit my targets, and based on how you feel and your performance, if you're not recovering properly, you might be overreach. You might be pushing yourself a little bit too much, or you need to start maybe supplementing some creatine, doing some stretching, and or up your protein intake, because generally people that are really lethargic and have bad like intestinal like foods and all that kind of shit that irritate their bellies, generally because they're not eating enough protein, because amino acids help with a lot of things besides muscle repair, cognitive function, digestive systems, like cleaning out and all, like everything. Like the list is endless. All right, so all calories are the same. All right, so all calories are not the same. So cheeseburger calories are not the same compared to broccoli. All right, so all these vary. They have different micronutrients. They have different compounds. Some might be full of like fructose and corn syrup and all that kind of shit. So saying that 1 calorie is the same as another calorie is false. All right, don't get too caught up on that stuff. Just choose healthy food and look at the nutrition label. If you can't pronounce a word or read it, don't fucking buy it. All right, generally just stick to your fruits, stick to your veggies. So bananas, apples, mandarins, whatever's in season, oranges, pineapple, rock melon, and then veggies, broccolini, cauliflower, spinach, rocket, like whatever suits the budget. A little bit of avocado if it's on special, whatever. And then get your lean meats. And then, I don't know, I don't really eat bread or dairy, so my meal prep's mainly just rice. It'll be like chicken or a lean meat or a curry or a stir fry. Just pack it full of veggies and make sure you're getting carbohydrates in, because that's one of the biggest things that's going to replenish your glycogen and glucose levels to help you perform the next day, all right? All right, so next after that is Carbs at night, will they make you fat? All right, so if you overeat on your carbohydrates, so say your maintenance 2,000 calories, you overeat on carbohydrates, carbohydrates will never, listen to this, will never be stored as fat. So generally when you overeat on your maintenance, so say your maintenance is 2,000 calories, you eat 2,500. So generally that extra 500 calories you've eaten above maintenance is going to be used as usable energy first, because it's easy. It's already in the stomach. It's getting processed. It's getting used. It's got easy access into the bloodstream. So like think about it from this perspective. Why would your body use fat like that's attached to your tissue to break that down when it's got something in the stomach to use? All right. So if you're eating above your calories at just say 500, so you've eaten 500 calories above maintenance and they were carbs, those carbs are going to be used as energy, and that's going to decrease the dietary fat. So like your body's fat isn't going to be used as energy because you got 500 calories of carbohydrates used as energy. Though if you overeat on fats, overeat your macronutrients, not the ratio, so 2,000 calories, and then you go and eat a whole bag of nuts, generally the body will use that as energy, and a little bit that's left over and isn't metabolized within the 24 to 48 hours, even 72 hours, will be stored as fat or usable energy, okay? But just like saying, oh my God, I overate by 200 to 500 calories, that you're not fat. You're not going to get fat from that. You're going to get fat from overeating and drinking a lot of alcohol and eating shit foods. Don't get me wrong, you can get fat on a healthy diet. Generally, just eat and train. And if you're not losing weight whilst training hard on this program, whether you're on the full body or upper body program, then we'll just adjust your lifestyle to fit that. We might throw a couple of fasting days in and have high calorie days and lower calorie days based around your training, all that kind of stuff. There's so many methods and ways to go about it. So just eat and train. And obviously if your physique is increasing, like getting better, you're starting to build some lean muscle, you won't see it straight away. You will see it after a few weeks to like the first and second cycle. All right, so once we get into the hypertrophy side of things, your body will adapt to the program. Your lifts are going to go up. They may like jump up overnight. It may take a little bit of time, and your posture is going to improve as well. All right, so carbs at night are not going to make you fat. So eating carbs later in the day, it doesn't matter when you eat them. Like generally you want to base your carbohydrates around your training. So generally when you eat a carbohydrate, that gets broken down into glucose, which is basically sugar. And then that molecule is transferred into glycogen and is stored in the muscle and the liver as usable energy. All right. Eating fat will make you fat. I just covered off on that. So eating over maintenance calories with fat, generally you'll burn that. You'll burn a little bit of it. And if it doesn't process that within a few days, it probably will get stored as fat, but it doesn't really matter. You don't need to worry about that shit because your body does that naturally. There's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is focus on your daily calories, eat your staple meals, follow the 80-20 principle, eat relatively healthy, and just make sure you're kicking your goals, all right? All right, so we've got 30 grams of protein. And all right, so what I mean by this is, so you got 30 grams, oh geez, that's a little bit retarded. All right, 30 grams of protein, and anything over that cannot be used. All right, so the 30 grams of protein comes out of the fitness industry. So basically, when you eat protein, 30 grams stimulates the highest level of muscle protein synthesis, so recovery and all that kind of stuff. So I'll flap on about this a lot. So MPS is basically that muscle recovery process, a lot more to it, but just for layman's terms, it is the muscle recovery process, all right, just for this video. So 30 grams it caps out, and then anything over that 30 grams that you're eating will just be stored as energy, be used for other stuff, organ function, like whatever. I don't know what the body does with the rest of it, but I'm just giving you a little bit of extra information because you don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to have, say, 50 grams of chicken here, 50 grams here. Just throw a breast in, eat. And then weigh yourself every couple of days. Make sure you're on track, whether you're bulking or cutting. And if you're not losing that weight compared to the same time last week, obviously something needs to change. You might have to do some cardio. You might just have to adjust something, all right? And then finally, eating carbs at night will make you fat. So I just covered that on before. I've actually written it twice it's been a long day. All right, so meal that comes under meal timing, meal frequency. So if you're overeating above your calories, generally you're going to gain weight over time. All right. So if you overeat your calories by, in theory, 500 calories, based on a whole day, you're going to overeat. You're going to gain about 0.5 to a kilo, but everyone's metabolism is different. Mine is really fast. I struggle to maintain weight. Some people really hate that, but when my goal is to build muscle and maintain weight, it is a pain in the ass. It's the same as someone who's trying to lose weight and they can't help but gain weight, all right? But that metabolic shift happens over time. It's just based on your body type. Like, that's the rough side of genetics. That's just fucking life. You can't use that as an example, all right, of why you're not training. You got no one to blame but yourself or where you are, all right? So make sure you're kicking your goals. I'm just covering off on just some basic shit bloody myths that really irritate me that people don't know about. People like, oh, you can't eat bread at night. You're going to store that as fat. False, all right? Hit your macro targets for the day. Weigh yourself each week. Train hard. Eat relatively healthy. If you want something, just make sure it's within reason. You don't have to like sacrifice everything in your life. You still want to maintain a lifestyle. So overeating on one day, you can make up for that during the week. It's really negligible. Generally, you can have 1 to 2 refeed days to really bump your calories up above maintenance to kind of replenish it. It's actually quite healthy to do this, to have 1 to 2 refeed days a week based on your training level. I have minimum 2 because my training is actually, I was about to say my training is that hardcore, but it's not. That's my recommendation for myself because my training performance slumps if I don't have 2 refeed days. So generally refeed day will be extra carbohydrates. So they'll come in the form of sweet potato, rice, or bread. So generally I'll just eat a little bit more that day. And then, I feel as though I recover a lot better as well. It's kind of like the placebo effect, to eat a bit more and then I can push a little bit harder in the gym. It's always push and pull. Like, life isn't perfect. Life's not linear. Always pushing the curb on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve, all right, guys. Any questions, shoot them below and I'll catch you in the next video. Toby out.